The double scandal revelation. Headline: History has just been rewritten, but no one dares to tell the truth. There are moments in sports when you realize that victory is about more than just the score. It is about smashing the walls that an entire system has built to keep you out. And what just happened with Alex Eala in Bangkok? This isn't a normal sports story anymore, folks. Welcome back to Pro Tennis 360, where we don't hide the truths that the professional tennis world is desperate to keep quiet. If you thought the drama on the court was intense, then fasten your seatbelts, because what we are about to reveal will make you sit straight up. Today, we are exposing a story so rebellious, so completely unacceptable, that it has sent shockwaves through the entire global tennis community and left millions of Filipino fans demanding justice. We are talking about a historic, generation-defining victory that was immediately poisoned by one of the most disrespectful, classless comments ever made by a sports official. And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, a corporate scandal involving inappropriate behavior and allegations of harassment has exploded, threatening to burn down one of the world's most prestigious airline brands. This is no longer just sports news. This is a cultural earthquake. And Alex Eala stands right at the epicenter, fighting battles that number 20-year-old girl should have to face. Soft CTA. If you want to know the truth that no mainstream channel dares to speak, then you've come to the right place. And believe me, this story is only just beginning. Stay tuned to Pro Tennis 360 so you don't miss a single detail, because what follows will forever change the way you look at the world of professional tennis. Scene setting: Bangkok Battlefield. Headline: Thailand, December 2025, when an entire nation placed its faith in one match. Let's set the scene. December 2025, Bangkok, Thailand. The 33rd SEA Games. The National Tennis Development Center is packed with screaming fans. The air is thick with anticipation, and the signature tropical humidity makes everything feel more intense, more real, more important. This was not just an ordinary tennis match. This was history in the making, a collision course between the host nation's golden girl and the Philippine phenomenon, who has been tearing up the international stage all year long. On one side of the net stood Manangkaya Sawanki, Thailand's hometown hero, carrying the weight of an entire nation's expectations. The pressure must have been absolutely suffocating. On the other side stood Alexandra Menyego Eala, only 20 years old, but already a seasoned veteran of the WTA Tour, a former student of the legendary Rafa Nadal Academy, and the pride of the Philippines. The stakes could not have been higher. For 26 long, painful years, the Philippines had been shut out of the women's singles tennis gold medal at the SEA Games. That drought lasted longer than Eala has been alive, a generational curse that has haunted Filipino tennis fans through countless close calls and heartbreaking defeats. But when the final ball was served, when the final point was scored, and the crowd fell into a stunned silence, history didn't just change. It was completely erased. Eala didn't just win. She didn't simply victory. She absolutely destroyed her opponent with a surgical, ruthless performance that left no doubt about who was the superior player. The final score read 6-1, 6-2. A scoreline so dominant it almost felt disrespectful to the host crowd. Every forehand was a statement. Every backhand was a manifesto. Every ace was a reminder that talent, dedication, and sheer will cannot be denied, regardless of what country you come from or how much money stands behind you. The Filipino fans who made the journey to Bangkok exploded in pure, unbridled joy. Social media erupted in celebration. The Philippine national anthem played, and in those precious moments, everything was perfect. This should have been the story. The underdog makes good. Hard work pays off. Dreams come true. But then came the counterpunch that no one saw coming. The victory that changed everything. Headline: 6-1, 6-2. When the numbers tell a story of absolute dominance. Let's talk about this victory for a moment, because the numbers alone don't tell the whole story. 6-1, 6-2. It looks simple on the scoreboard, but behind those digits was a performance that every young player in the world should study. Alex Eala stepped onto that court with a crystal-clear tactical plan. She had studied her opponent. She knew Sawanki's strengths. She knew the weaknesses. And more importantly, she knew exactly how to exploit them. From the very first point, Eala established dominance. Her serves weren't just powerful. They were placed with surgical precision. Her returns were deep and heavy, forcing Swanky further and further behind the baseline with every exchange. But here is the truly impressive part about Eala's performance. This wasn't just raw power. This was tactical intelligence. She changed the rhythm brilliantly, forcing her opponent to guess. One moment she was crushing the ball with full force. The next she was dropping a delicate drop shot that made the crowd gasp. And the mental attitude? Unshakable. This is a young 20-year-old girl playing in her opponent's home court, with thousands of Thai fans roaring against every point she scored. Most players would wither under that pressure. But Eala? She thrived in it. Every time the crowd cheered for Swanky, Eala seemed to play better. Every time the tension rose, her focus sharpened even more. This was a masterpiece of mental resilience and maturity, far beyond her years. The first set ended 6-1 in just 32 minutes. Swanky looked confused, overwhelmed, and unsure of how to stop the relentless assault. The second set was no different. Eala had reached her peak, and nothing Swanky tried was working. When the final point was scored and the victory sealed, Eala showed no sign of boastfulness or arrogance. She walked to the net, shook her opponent's hand with genuine respect, and then turned to her crowd of Filipino fans and let the emotion finally break through. 26 years of waiting, 26 years of frustration, 26 years of dreaming, all ended in one perfect afternoon in Bangkok. This should have been the end of the story. It should have been the moment every Filipino fan would remember forever with a smile on their face. But then, while the congratulations were still echoing through the stadium, while Filipino fans were still wiping tears of joy from their eyes, reports began to surface of a comment that would turn this beautiful sporting moment into an international incident. The insult heard around the world. Headline: Just a win from a kid from a poor country. 11 words that destroyed everything. While the cheers had not yet cooled, while the gold medal was still shining around Eala's neck, Somsak Pongchayakul, the president of the Lawn Tennis Association of Thailand, a man who should have been elegantly congratulating the winner and praising both athletes for an excellent tournament, instead allegedly launched a statement so tone-deaf, so dripping with condescension and poorly hidden contempt, that it immediately ignited a firestorm of controversy. The reported comment: just a win from a kid from a poor country. 11 words. That's all it took. 11 words to disrespect not just Eala, not just her achievement, but an entire nation of 115 million people. Let's break down exactly why this comment is so horrific, shall we? First, there is the framing of just a win, which is dismissive, as if Eala's historic achievement was somehow meaningless or unimportant. This was not just a win. This was the culmination of years of sacrifice, of countless hours of training under the Spanish sun at the Rafa Nadal Academy. Millions of balls hit, thousands of miles traveled, and an unbreakable will to succeed against all odds. This was the first time in over a quarter of a century that a Filipino woman has stood on that podium with gold around her neck. To call it just a win is to fundamentally misunderstand or intentionally diminish what it represents to an entire generation of Filipino athletes and fans. Then there is the kid from a poor country part, which is where the statement crosses over from merely dismissive into truly offensive territory. The implication is clear to anyone with a shred of emotional intelligence. He was suggesting that Eala's victory was somehow tainted or less legitimate because of her nationality, that she got lucky, that Thailand didn't actually lose to a better player, but was somehow victimized by circumstance. It is the ultimate loser's excuse dressed up in diplomatic language, but transparent in its bitterness. What makes it even more glaring is the poorly hidden classism and elitism in every syllable. The suggestion that coming from a developing nation somehow makes your achievements less valuable, that poverty and struggle disqualify you from greatness rather than forging the very qualities that make greatness possible. And here is the funny thing about all of this. If you really want to talk about a poor country, let's talk about the capital of character. Because in that match, in that moment, the president of the Thai Tennis Association revealed himself to be the poorest man in the room. Poor in dignity, poor in respect, poor in the ability to recognize greatness when it beats you 6-1, 6-2. The reaction was swift, fierce, and absolutely unforgiving. When the internet catches fire. Headline: The Philippines unites in anger, and the world listens. Filipino fans, world-renowned for their passionate support of their athletes and their massive, organized social media presence, mobilized with terrifying efficiency within hours. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and every other social platform you can name were absolutely flooded with condemnations. The hashtags #RespectEala and #PinoyPride were trending not just in Southeast Asia, but globally. Filipino celebrities, politicians, and everyday citizens united in their outrage. This was no longer just about tennis. This had become about national pride, about dignity, and about refusing to accept disrespect from anyone, regardless of their position or influence. The message was clear and unified. You can try to diminish us. You can try to downplay our achievements, but we will not be silent. We will not accept your contempt. We will defend our champion with everything we have. International tennis fans, who had no dog in the fight, also piled on, recognizing the comment for what it was: a classless attempt to justify a humiliating home defeat by attacking the winner's heritage. But this is where the story gets even more interesting, even more outrageous. Those who actually watched the final live, those who paid attention to every point and every call, know that Eala wasn't just fighting her opponent that day. She was fighting the entire system. Reports of suspicious line calls raged throughout the match. Balls clearly out by several inches were called in, extending rallies that should have been over. Balls that kissed the line, leaving clear marks, were called out, robbing Eala of points she had rightfully earned. The chair umpire seemed curiously reluctant to overrule calls favoring the home player, even when the evidence was obvious to everyone watching. Eala, usually a picture of composed professionalism on court, was clearly frustrated. There were moments she approached the chair umpire, pleading her case with the kind of desperation that comes from knowing you are being cheated, but having no recourse. No way to fight back except to play even better. Television cameras caught her shaking her head in disbelief, her jaw clenched in frustration, her eyes shimmering with poorly contained anger. But here is the thing about true champions. Adversity doesn't break them, it provides fuel. Every bad call seemed to make Eala more determined, more focused, more dangerous. She channeled every bit of that frustration into her game, hitting the ball with an intensity that screamed, "You can cheat me out of points, but you cannot cheat me out of this victory." She started aiming deeper, hitting harder, leaving no room for interpretation. If the lines weren't fair, she would only hit winners so clean that even the most biased official couldn't deny them. And that is exactly what she did. The power of dignified silence. Headline: When saying nothing says everything. A lesson in real class. So, how did Alexandra Eala respond to the insulting comments from the president of the Thai Tennis Association? Did she go on social media to unleash an angry tirade? Did she demand an apology through official channels? Did she hold a tearful press conference describing how hurt and offended she was? No, she did something much more powerful, much more devastating. She responded with grace, dignity, and class that made her detractor look small, petty, and pathetic by comparison. She let her tennis speak for itself. She allowed the scale of her achievement to stand as its own rebuttal to his absurdity. By refusing to descend into a war of words, by taking the high road when she had every right to lash out, she proved a maturity and wisdom far beyond her years. It was a masterclass in how to handle disrespect. Sometimes the strongest reaction is no reaction at all. By maintaining her composure, by refusing to give the controversy oxygen, she forced everyone to focus on what actually mattered: her historic victory. The contrast could not have been clearer. On one side, a defeated, bitter official making excuses and attacking a young woman's nationality. On the other, a 20-year-old champion showing more class and dignity than someone 3 times her age. The world took notice. The tennis community took notice. And Somsak Pongchayakal, the man who thought he was putting Eala in her place, found himself thoroughly embarrassed, exposed as a sore loser who couldn't handle defeat with any semblance of grace. It was a victory not just for the Philippines, but for every athlete who has ever been looked down upon because of where they come from. For every kid from a poor country who dares to dream big, who refuses to accept that their zip code defines their destiny, who works twice as hard for half the recognition. Eala's victory and her dignified response to the insult that followed became a symbol of something much larger than tennis. It became a rallying cry for anyone who has ever been told they don't belong, that they aren't good enough, that they should know their place. Imagine being a 20-year-old girl, standing alone in a hostile environment, knowing the whole system is against you, and still having the grace not to take the bait. That is strength. That is character. That is why Alex Eala is not just a great tennis player. She is a role model. But as the dust began to settle on this controversy, just as the news cycle was moving on and everyone thought the drama was over, a second scandal broke. And this one, folks, this one is much darker, much more disturbing to the point it makes tennis politics look like a minor disagreement. The Emirates scandal, when corporate power meets abuse. Headline: Behind closed curtains, the Emirates scandal begins. We all understand that modern professional tennis isn't just about the sport itself. It's about branding, image, sponsorship, and money. Athletes at Eala's level have obligations that extend far beyond the court. They attend promotional events, pose for photos, smile for cameras, and represent the companies that pay them to wear their logos and fly on their planes. It is part of the business. And most athletes accept these responsibilities as the price of success. But at what cost? At what point does a promotional obligation cross the line into something much more sinister? According to breaking reports still developing as we speak, Alex Eala recently attended a mandatory promotional event for Emirates, the luxury airline that sponsors many high-level tennis tournaments and maintains relationships with several top players. This was supposed to be a routine commitment, the kind of glittering, high-society social gathering that comes with the territory of being an elite athlete. Champagne, canapes, networking with VIPs, photo ops, and making small talk with corporate executives who want to be seen with rising stars. Standard operating procedure. But according to multiple witnesses, and most chillingly, the shocking public revelation from Eala herself, the evening took a turn that was anything but routine. Eala revealed in a statement that has since gone viral that she was asked to pose for photos with a group of VIP guests, specifically several men in expensive suits who appeared to be senior executives or major clients of the airline. Again, nothing unusual about this. It is literally part of her job description as a brand ambassador. But what happened next is where the situation deteriorated from awkward to completely unacceptable. An older man identified in reports as a senior representative or major shareholder connected to Emirates allegedly began to behave in a way that made Eala and everyone around them deeply uncomfortable. It started subtly, as these things often do, standing too close, invading her personal space in a way that felt deliberate rather than accidental. Witnesses reported seeing the man position himself next to Eala in a way that left her visibly tense, her body language screaming discomfort even as she tried to maintain a professional smile for the cameras. But then, according to Eala's account, things escalated significantly. She alleges that there was inappropriate physical contact, hands lingering in places where they have no business being, touches that lasted too long and ventured too low to be explained away as innocent mistakes. And then came the verbal component that transformed this from creepy behavior into potential harassment. The man allegedly leaned in close and began whispering suggestions about deeper collaborations beyond tennis, suggestions about private meetings and special opportunities that would benefit both parties. Let's call this what it is, shall we? This was a predatory older man using his position of power and influence to advance on a young woman who was contractually obligated to be polite to him. The moment everything changed. Headline: I am not an object for your entertainment. When Alex Eala said no. It was a gross abuse of the power dynamic inherent in these corporate relationships, where athletes, particularly young female athletes, are expected to be gracious, agreeable, and compliant regardless of how uncomfortable they feel. He gambled on her silence, counting on the fact that she would smile through the discomfort, that she wouldn't make a scene, that fear of losing a sponsorship or damaging her reputation would keep her quiet. He gambled wrong. Alex Eala is not just a tennis player. She is a fighter who has battled her way through hostile crowds, biased officials, and international disrespect. She is a young woman who has proven she will not be pushed around or told to know her place. And in that moment, faced with absolutely unacceptable behavior, she didn't freeze. She didn't laugh nervously and try to excuse herself politely. She didn't wait to discuss it with her management team later. She exploded. According to multiple witness accounts, Eala physically pushed the man away from her and, in a voice loud enough for everyone in the immediate vicinity to hear, shouted words to the effect of, "I am not your object for entertainment. Emirates, I refuse. I will never fly with you again." The room went silent. Champagne glasses stopped clinking. Fake smiles vanished from faces. Security personnel, suddenly alert to the situation, began moving toward the commotion. And Alex, without waiting for explanations or apologies, turned on her heel and stormed out of the venue, leaving a room full of shocked VIPs and corporate executives in her wake. But she didn't stop there. She could have followed the traditional route, the safe path, the route her management team probably advised. File a quiet complaint, handle it through lawyers, sign a non-disclosure agreement in exchange for a financial settlement, and move on with her career. That is how these situations are usually handled in the corporate world. Keep it quiet, don't make waves, protect the brand's reputation, and hope the story never goes public. But Alex Eala chose a different path. She went public. She told her story to the world, refusing to be silenced by the threat of lost sponsorships or potential legal complications. She posted a detailed account of what happened on her social media platforms, naming Emirates specifically and making it clear that she would not tolerate being treated as an object for the entertainment of wealthy older men. The reaction was nuclear. When courage forces accountability. Headline: From boycott to apology. The power of telling the truth. Within hours, #Boycott Emirates was trending worldwide, not just in the Philippines, but in every major market. Millions of fans, disgusted by the treatment of the young star and inspired by her courage in speaking out, took immediate action. Videos were posted of people literally cutting up their Emirates frequent flyer cards. Screenshots of canceled bookings with captions saying, "Not another dollar for harassers," and pledges to avoid the airline until substantive action was taken. The boycott movement gained such momentum that it began to have real, measurable financial consequences. According to reports from financial analysts who track these things, Emirates stock took a significant hit in the immediate aftermath of the scandal. While exact figures are still being confirmed, initial reports suggested a drop of approximately 3% in a single trading session, which means millions of dollars in market capitalization lost. That might not sound dramatic, but in the world of massive international corporations, a 3% single-day drop triggered by a PR crisis is catastrophic. It signals to investors that the brand has been seriously damaged, that consumer trust has been shaken, and that recovery will require significant effort and likely substantial changes in leadership and policy. The financial bleeding and relentless negative publicity finally forced the top leadership of Emirates to respond. But this wasn't the typical corporate damage control playbook. This wasn't a vague statement from a PR department about taking allegations seriously and conducting an internal investigation. According to sources close to the situation, Emirates Chairman Sheikh Ahmed bin Saeed Al Maktoum himself intervened, reportedly shocked by both the allegations and the scale of the public backlash. The statement that emerged was remarkably personal, remarkably direct, and remarkably apologetic. The chairman issued what many observers have described as a profound, direct apology to Alex Eala. The statement condemned in the strongest possible terms the alleged behavior of the representative, promised that the individual involved would be held fully accountable, and outlined plans for a comprehensive review of all protocols regarding interactions between corporate representatives and athlete ambassadors, specifically young female athletes. The tone was raw, seemingly sincere, and lacking the usual corporate lawyer speak designed to avoid liability, which caught many observers off guard. According to reports, when Eala was presented with the chairman's statement, she was moved to tears. Not tears of sadness or continued trauma, but tears of relief and validation. It was an acknowledgement from the highest level possible that what happened to her was wrong, that she was right to speak out, that her voice mattered, and that she had the power to force change even in the face of a billion-dollar multinational corporation. It was proof that courage can win, that speaking truth to power is not always career suicide, and that sometimes the system actually responds when forced to face its failures publicly. And that is the message that every young athlete, every young woman, every person who has ever felt powerless in the face of corporate power needs to hear. Your voice matters. Your courage can make a difference. You do not have to endure unacceptable treatment just because someone is more powerful or wealthier than you. This isn't just about tennis. It's about who we want to be. Now let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture here, because these two incidents occurring in such close proximity to each other reveal something profoundly important about who Alex Eala is and what she represents. She is not just a talented tennis player who happens to be from the Philippines. She is a disruptor, a barrier breaker, someone who threatens the established order simply by existing and succeeding at the highest level. And that makes her a target. Look at what she has accomplished at just 20 years old. She has broken into the top 50 in the WTA World Rankings, a feat that seemed almost impossible just a few years ago for a Filipino player. She stunned the tennis world at the 2025 Miami Open, taking down established stars, including former Grand Slam champion Jelena Ostapenko. And in perhaps the shock result of the entire tournament, the world number 1 Iga Swiatek. Although she eventually fell to Jessica Pegula in the semifinals, that run informed the world that Alex Eala is not a fluke or a flash in the pan. She belongs to the elite. She has shown the world that you can come from a poor country and still possess more wealth of character, more mental strength, and more richness of spirit than all the billionaires in the VIP boxes combined. She has proven that dignity cannot be bought and self-respect cannot be compromised. She has demonstrated that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is refuse to accept unacceptable treatment, even when staying silent would be easier, safer, and more profitable. So what do you think? Was the Thai Tennis Association president's comment simply a misunderstanding, a case of something lost in translation, or exactly what it appears to be? A display of pure bitter jealousy from someone who couldn't handle seeing his country lose to a kid from a poor country? And regarding the Emirates scandal, do you believe the chairman's apology is enough, or should the boycott continue until there are specific, concrete consequences for the individual involved? Should heads roll? Should there be an independent investigation? This is bigger than tennis. This is about respect, dignity, accountability, and whether we as a society are willing to stop tolerating the mistreatment of young female athletes by powerful men who think their money and position make them untouchable. If you stand with Alex Eala, if you believe in holding people accountable for their actions regardless of their wealth or position, if you want to see more fearless, unfiltered reporting that exposes the truth behind the glamorous facade of professional tennis, then you know exactly what to do. Smash that like button right now to show your support for Alex and send a message that this kind of treatment is never acceptable. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss a breaking update, because believe me, this story is far from over and we will have exclusive developments you won't find anywhere else. And turn on those notifications, because when news breaks in this story, you're going to want to know about it immediately. We are Pro Tennis 360 and we are just getting started. We don't back down from powerful people or organizations. We don't soft pedal the truth to protect advertisers or maintain access. We serve you the facts about what is happening in the world of tennis, no matter how ugly or controversial they may be. Thank you so much for watching, for engaging, and for being part of this community that demands better for our athletes. Stay tuned, stay informed, and we will see you in the next video. And believe me, the Alex Eala story is only just beginning to be written.